He is known as the greatest basketball player of all time, a global icon, a winner. But was he always the best? The surprising answer is no. He was not always the strongest. He lost many games. He failed again and again and again. But he never, ever quit. His real power was not just in his hands or his feet. It was in his mind. So what if you could learn the secrets to that champion's mindset? What if you could use the same rules that built a sports legend to build your own success? And your English fluency? Today, we are not just telling a story. We are opening the playbook of a champion. This is not just a lesson about Michael Jordan. It's a lesson from him. I'm your host, Scarlett, and welcome to a special episode of Grow English Mastery. Today, we will break down his 10 simple rules for winning in sports, in life, and in your English learning journey. First, we will uncover the foundation that turned his early failures into fuel for success. Second, we will master 10 essential vocabulary words like failure, champion, and mindset. And finally, we will focus on the grammar of giving powerful advice with imperative sentences. So, get ready. Let's learn the 10 rules of Michael Jordan. Part 1. The foundation of a champion. Every great building has a strong foundation. For Michael Jordan, that foundation was built not on success, but on failure. This brings us to his first powerful rule. Embrace your failures. To embrace something means to accept it completely, without fear. Many people are afraid of failure. They think it is the end. But Jordan saw it as the beginning. He famously said, "I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. I've failed over and over and over again in my life. And that is why I succeed." The most famous story of his early life is when he was a teenager. He tried out for his high school's main basketball team, the varsity team. He was good, but he was shorter and weaker than the other players. The coach posted a list of the players who made the team, and Michael's name was not on it. He was cut from the team. He was devastated. He went home, locked himself in his room, and cried. For him, in that moment, it felt like the ultimate failure. But what did he do the next day? He didn't quit. He used that feeling of failure as fuel. He went to the gym earlier than anyone else. He practiced harder than anyone else. That failure became his greatest motivation. It taught him what he needed to fix, and it made him stronger. So, for your English, when you make a mistake or have a bad conversation, do not see it as the end. Embrace it. It is your teacher. With this powerful mindset, he built his career on one simple idea. He knew that some other players were naturally more talented, so he decided he had to work harder than all of them. This is his next rule. Love hard work. For many people, work is a chore, something you have to do. For Jordan, hard work was his secret weapon. He was often the first player to arrive at the gym and the last one to leave. He started a famous routine called the Breakfast Club, where he and a few teammates would meet to practice intensely at 5 o'clock in the morning. hours before the official team practice even started. He believed that hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. You must love the daily process of getting better, even when it's difficult. But how did he work? It wasn't just about playing games. This brings us to his third foundational rule: practice more than you play. Jordan said that the game is the fun part, but the practice is what builds a champion. He understood that the big, exciting moments in a game are earned in the small, boring moments in the gym. He would practice the fundamentals, the basic, simple skills, for hours. He would practice the same shot 500 times. He would practice his footwork, his defense, his passing. He knew that games only show what you have already learned in practice. This is a perfect lesson for English learners. Speaking with a native speaker is like playing the game. It's exciting. But the real improvement happens in your daily practice. Practicing your grammar, learning new vocabulary, training your pronunciation. Your practice is where you build the skills to win the game. Part 2. The Mind of a Winner. Michael Jordan knew that physical skill was only half the battle. The other half was played in the mind. This is why his next rules are about focus and teamwork. His next rule is to focus on your goal. When Jordan started playing, his dreams were not small. He set very clear, very high goals. He didn't just want to be a good player. He wanted to win championships and be the best to ever play the game. He thought about these goals every single day. This clear focus was like a light that guided all of his decisions. When distractions came, like parties or easy days, he remembered his goals and stayed on track. A clear goal gives you direction and helps you say no to the things that don't matter. Your goal might be to pass an exam, or to have a confident conversation, or to watch a movie without subtitles. Whatever it is, write it down. Focus on it every day. But he also knew he could not win alone. Basketball is a team sport. This is his next rule: be a good teammate. Now, Jordan was famously a very tough teammate. He was not always nice, but for him, being a good teammate meant pushing everyone on the team to be their absolute best. He demanded excellence from them because he demanded it from himself. He learned to support his teammates, to help them when they struggled, and to encourage them to work as hard as he did. He knew that talent wins games, but teamwork and intelligence win championships. In your English journey, find teammates. Find a study partner, join a community, and help others. When you help others, you often help yourself the most. To be a good teammate, you must also be a leader. His next rule is simple: be a leader. A leader doesn't just play for themselves. They make the entire team stronger. For Jordan, leadership was about action more than words. He led by being the first person in the gym every day. His hard work showed the way for everyone else. A leader speaks with heart, takes responsibility for mistakes, and lifts others up when they are down. Even when you feel scared about your English, being a leader can mean just being the first person in your class to try and answer a difficult question. And how do you do all of this? The secret is in our next rule: be consistent. Consistency means doing something every single day, even when you don't feel like it. Some days are easy, some days are hard, but champions show up every day. Jordan's legendary career was not built on a few great games. It was built on thousands of days of consistent practice. Small, positive actions every day lead to big victories in the future. Consistency builds skill, it builds trust, and it builds champions. Part 3. The heart of a legend, finally. Let's look at the deepest secrets to his success. These are the rules that separate the good from the great. Jordan understood that basketball is more than just a physical game. This is his next rule. The mental game is real. He said you must train your mind just as hard as you train your body. Your mind controls your fear, your focus, and your strength. Jordan was famous for his ability to perform in the clutch, in the most important, high-pressure moments of a game. This was not luck. It was mental training. He practiced visualization, imagining himself taking and making the winning shot hundreds of times before he ever stepped on the court. A strong mind wins the toughest battles. To build a strong mind, you sometimes have to make difficult choices. This brings us to his next rule. Make sacrifices. A sacrifice is when you give up something you want now for something more important later. Jordan gave up a normal social life. He gave up parties and easy days with friends. He chose the pain of hard work and early morning practice instead. Why? Because he wanted to be the best. Greatness requires hard choices. You must be ready to give up something good to get something great. For your English, this might mean sacrificing 30 minutes of watching TV to do your practice instead. And finally, his number one rule, the mindset that drove everything he ever did. His final rule is to always aim to win. From the very start, he wanted to be the best. Winning is a mindset. It means you believe in yourself even when others don't. It means you never, ever give up. It means you learn from your losses, but your eyes are always focused on the victory. For an English learner, winning doesn't mean being better than others. It means being better than you were yesterday. Compete with yourself. Aim to win your personal goals. Part 4. Language. Focus now. Let's move to our language focus. First, let's master 10 essential vocabulary words from Michael Jordan's rules. Our first word is failure. Failure is a lack of success in doing something. For example, Michael Jordan learned from every failure and used it as motivation. Another example is, don't be afraid of failure. It is a chance to learn. Our second word is champion. A champion is a person who has won a major competition. For example, to be a champion, you need a special mindset. Another example is, she is the world champion in swimming. Our third phrase is hard work. Hard work is a great amount of effort or energy. For example, his success was the result of years of hard work. Another example is, nothing is possible without hard work. Next, we have practice. Practice is the action of doing something again and again to get better. For example, daily practice is more important than just playing games. Another example is, you need to practice speaking English every day. Our fifth word is goal. A goal is something that you want to achieve in the future. For example, Having a clear goal helps you to stay focused on what is important. Another example is, my goal is to finish this book by the end of the week. The sixth word is teammate. A teammate is a player on the same team as you. For example, a good leader always supports and encourages their teammates. Another example is, he is my friend and my teammate. Our seventh word is consistent. Consistent means always behaving or happening in a similar way over a period of time. For example, you must be consistent with your daily English practice to see results. Another example is, she is a very consistent student and always does her homework. Next, we have mindset. A mindset is a person's way of thinking and their general attitude. For example, to be a champion, you need to develop a winner's mindset. Another example is, a positive mindset can help you overcome many challenges. Our ninth word is sacrifice. A sacrifice is the act of giving up something you value for the sake of something that is more important. For example, becoming the best at anything requires sacrifice. Another example is, he made a big sacrifice to help his family succeed. And our final word is legend. A legend is someone who is very famous and admired, usually because of their skill in a particular area. For example, Michael Jordan is a basketball legend. Another example is, she is a legend in the world of music. Now, let's look at our grammar focus for today. Imperative sentences. Michael Jordan's rules are very direct. They are strong pieces of advice, like commands from a coach. The grammar for giving commands or direct advice is the imperative. The structure is very simple. Just use the base form of the verb. All of Jordan's rules are imperative sentences. Embrace your failures. Love hard work. Practice more than you play. Focus on your goal. Be a good teammate. Be a leader. Be consistent. Make sacrifices. And always aim to win. To make an imperative negative, we just add don't before the verb. For example, don't stop if you fail. Or, don't only play games, focus on practice. This is a very powerful and direct way to give advice. Part 5. Practice tips for the 4 skills. Now, how can you practice? Here are some simple tips. For listening, listen to this lesson again. Pay close attention to the 10 rules. Notice that they are all imperative sentences giving strong advice. Also, you can find interviews with Michael Jordan on YouTube and listen to how he talks about his mindset. For speaking, choose your favorite rule from Jordan's list. Explain it to a friend or your AI tutor in your own words. For example, I learned something from Michael Jordan. He says, be consistent with your practice. For reading, find a list of motivational quotes from famous athletes or successful people online. You will notice that many of their famous quotes are imperative sentences. And for writing, write down 3 rules for yourself to improve your English this week. Use the imperative form, just like Jordan. For example, 1. Listen to one English song every day. 2. Don't be afraid to speak. 3. Be patient with my progress. Part 6. Your next action. The 10 rules of Michael Jordan are a blueprint for building a champion's mindset. They teach us that failure is a stepping stone, that hard work is essential, and that our minds are our most powerful tool. These lessons are not just for basketball. They are for life, and they are for your English learning journey. As we conclude, let's summarize the key takeaways. First, we learned the inspiring story of how Michael Jordan's mindset made him the greatest of all time. Second, we broke down his 10 simple but powerful rules for achieving success. And finally, we focused on the grammar of imperative sentences, the language of giving strong, clear advice. We also learned 10 essential vocabulary words. As a review, those words were failure, champion, hard work, practice, goal, teammate, consistent, mindset, sacrifice, and legend. I hope this lesson has helped your English and inspired you to build your own champion's mindset. Which of Michael Jordan's 10 rules do you think is the most important for learning English? Please share your answer in the comments section below. If you are committed to making this mindset a part of your life, show your energy by smashing that like button. Be a hero for a friend by sharing this video with someone who needs this motivation. And to lock in your commitment to learning, subscribe and smash that notification bell so you don't miss our next workout. Remember, you don't have to be the best to start, but you have to start to be the best. Until next time, take care and happy learning.